The main purpose of written communication is to provide a vehicle for your ideas and insights. It's how you communicate your values, what's important to you, and your unique perspective. It's your voice in all academic and professional settings. But written communication also conveys your analysis on a given subject. Your writing can show that you understand the concepts under discussion and can demonstrate that thinking about those concepts, resulting in new ideas. And in academic writing, there is one key sentence that is a gateway for all of this, a statement that encapsulates the result of your thinking, offering your main insight on a topic as well as a roadmap for development. And in academic writing, we call that the thesis. I'm Dr. Nate Pritz. For the next few minutes, let's focus closely on the thesis. Your thesis provides your main assertion, the point your paper is trying to make. It lets the reader know what's coming by setting the scene and establishes a plan for all the details and supporting evidence presented in the rest of the writing. A good thesis statement will direct the structure of your essay and will allow your reader to understand the ideas you will discuss within the paper. So let's talk a little bit more about the different aspects of thesis statements. Generally speaking, a thesis statement will create reader interest through memorable and powerful language, maybe with a provocative hook. This doesn't have to be outrageous or sensational, but provocative in the sense of compelling. A reader should want to know more, inspiring further thought. The thesis will also signal how you organize information in the paper. It lays out the overall stakes and scope so that the reader can better process the information that you'll bring to bear. As a result, the thesis really sets expectations for the flow of the paragraphs to come. This works both ways, as the thesis indicates the overall organizing structure to help the reader chart their progress through the paper, but it also reminds you as the writer to stick to the same path, providing evidence directly related to that thesis. Your thesis should be stated somewhere in the opening paragraphs of your paper. Most often, it's the last sentence of the introduction. As a writer, you have the obligation to make the thesis sentence idea clear to your readers, so the thesis should be prominent in the writing. Usually a thesis is one sentence. Sometimes in some styles of writing and for some complex subjects, you might find it more effective to break the thesis statement into two sentences, but it's typically one or two. This is what a thesis does, but let's consider exactly how a thesis is built. A basic thesis sentence has two main parts, the topic and the purpose. Let's take a look at those more closely. The topic is what you're writing about. You'll identify a broad subject that you want to consider, or in some cases this will be assigned to you. As you start to think about this broad subject, you'll narrow your focus to a topic that you can cover in a paper. And that's important. Your topic really helps to narrow the field so that you can focus on one particular aspect. The topic is the first main part of any thesis statement. And the second main part is the purpose. Your purpose is what you want to say about the topic, your contribution to that overall topic. Your main idea provides the angle you'll follow in developing this topic throughout the paper. Taken together, these two main parts comprise any thesis statement. In order to write an effective thesis, you need to gauge your audience, but you also need to understand your own style as a writer. Most importantly, you need to have a thorough understanding of your topic and what your paper will attempt to say about that topic. That's really the only requirement for the thesis, a topic and a purpose. But because you may find your understanding of your topic or your intended purpose changing as you write, it's important to revisit and revise your thesis often. It's a good idea to start with a thesis, but realize that it might shift or change as you work through the written material in your paper. In fact, some writers wait until they've finished their draft to go back and then insert the thesis into the introduction. But having to revise your thesis as a last step before finalizing your draft is only one stumbling block common to thesis creation. Some of the other problems common to ineffective thesis statements are actually easy to fix or avoid. Being aware of these stumbling blocks can put us on the right path. When the purpose determined as part of a thesis sentence is too broad, the writer may not have carefully thought through how they will support it. A thesis that's too broad makes it easy to fall into the trap of offering information that is irrelevant and doesn't really contribute to the main purpose. Plus, it can lead to a paper that isn't focused enough to ever accomplish in the allotted time or page requirement. Of course, sometimes the opposite is the problem. If a thesis is too narrow, there may be no purpose to support. A narrow statistic or a plain statement of fact doesn't provide an opportunity for the writer's own ideas or analysis about a topic. If something is too narrow, it can't be developed. This has been a quick overview of the main points for you to keep in mind when constructing a thesis. Now it's your turn. Check out the resources linked in the description below for some additional background and practice in writing thesis statements. A thesis is a powerful way to provide direction to your writing, a crucial link you forge between your ideas and the reader's understanding.